value for our clients. Our clients could be our employer. Our clients could be those who are giving us business. Our clients could be somebody or the company or an organization which are engaging our services. And if somebody is engaging our services, he expects that if he spends 1,000 naira on you, he will get a reward not more than 1,000 naira. Otherwise, his engaging you will be a loss to him. So whatever we are doing is in a bid or was geared towards creating value for our clients or users of our services. And what we mean by creating value is when the expected return arising from our activity is higher than the cost expended to achieve that return. So, as facility managers or property managers, you must be very cost conscious. You must be very cost conscious that whoever is engaging you must be deriving a benefit to justify the money he is paying you. If a company is spending 10 million naira annually as expenses related to real estate owned by them in different forms, and when they engage you, the expenses reduce from 10 million naira to 6 million naira, you find that you have made an impact on them. They cannot see and the reason why they engaged you, that engaging you have made a difference from what they are doing. But an expert has come in and is doing it better. Then, apart from reducing the cost below what they were spending prior to being engaged, they're also making more profit or getting more income in their business. That also justifies your engagement in one way or the other. And as I mentioned earlier, corporate organizations never realize that real estate has a lot of role to play in their business, in their corporate business, or in their profitability. But they lately realized it and now start to give real estate a very important position or attention in their business strategy. And now it becomes part of their business plan and of their strategy. So, and when you are engaged as a property manager, you know, FM is a broad field comprising of different disciplines or different areas. And one of them is property management. Another one is the project management. We have maintenance. We have project management. We have construction. We have courier services, personnel management, technology, and so many other things involved in FM. So FM is a multidisciplinary field, and in this particular situation, we are dealing with the real estate aspect of FM. So I want everybody to understand the difference, that FM is not property management. But a lot of people, even those who have passed through the university and gained a degree in FM, have an FM, still interuse property management and property management as if they're interchangeable or if they're the same. FM is a wider discipline, but it encompasses many disciplines, including property management. So, and you cannot be an expert in all of them. That's why when you see FM companies, depending on the area they are concentrating, they will now employ staff who have expertise in that area. Those FM companies that are mainly engaged in property management, you find that they employ a lot of graduates with estate management background to work for them. Some engaged engineers, if what they are doing requires engineering services, some of them going to career, event planning, personnel management, human resources, and so on and so forth, restaurants, catering, and this case may be maintenance as well. So the scope of their work will determine the extent of professional engagement they will get themselves involved in. So, I want to talk about strategy. It means that now you are strategically trying to make real estate a profit, a profitable resource, a resource to achieve your profit or achieve your goal in your business, either by reducing costs or by improving your income. So when there's a strategy, you cannot just say have a strategy and go and sleep. When you have a strategy, you must plan how to achieve your goal, your aim, and your objectives. So the strategy must be aligned to the objectives of the organization you are working for, or of your clients. They cannot work at variance with the objectives of your clients. So every organization, if you are working for a company like an airline, a hotel, a hospitality industry, a tourist industry, a manufacturing industry, their objectives differ. So your FM strategy must be in line or in a tandem with the objective of data organizations. Otherwise, you will not get it. Because if you start working at crossroads with what the company is doing, you will not be able to achieve anything in that respect. That's why at times, in one of the questions, they say that the superior corporate strategy impacts and produces positive outcomes. Employee satisfaction, production factor, efficiency, business opportunities, increase shareholder profits, risk management, consideration, as the case may be. So we find that when you have a corporate strategy, you look at what are the positive outcomes. One, you try to save costs, energy costs, water costs, cleaning costs, and also, and you can save costs from so many ways. By trying to put control on the way things are used, to avoid waste and enhance efficiency in the use of resources, you can achieve cost reduction and in the way you procure your services. In the way you procure, if you have a very way of procuring services, you spend more money in doing that. So you have to look at the best way to procure services. I told you last time about construction projects. When I was involved in the housing project, the contractor to a single building said that was about 10 years ago, that the roof cover alone will cost about 2 million naira to do, or 1.8 million naira to do, 2 million naira to do. And then they will now engage workers who will come and install the roof cover which is installed. So I ignored them and went straight to the manufacturers of the roof themselves. I agree with them to do it at 850,000 naira. They will supply and install themselves. So I have not in any way compromised standard or quality. These are the people who produce the roof, and I use their own workers to install it. And they will install it in a way that their product will remain attractive or attract other customers to them. So these are one of the ways. And in construction contracts, we call these things, try to convert some of these things into what is called prime cost items. Prime cost items. I try to explain what is prime cost item. These are those items in the bill of quantities in which the client have removed from the contractor's control. That is, even if the contractor quotes 100 million naira for the item, and you now engage an expert contractor or manufacturer or supplier to do it for you. So the contractor is bound to refer that item to the expert supplier or manufacturer. If the contractor quoted 100 million naira and expert supplier charges 70 million naira, that is what you reimburse the contractor, not the 100 million naira he's charging. So in that case, without compromising quality or standard, you're already saving 30 million naira from the system. And I told you how we handle the issue of doors in the project we handle. We are increasing profitability. And then when you have a good strategy, you have routine maintenance, you try to monitor things before they get spoiled. You find that in that case, the environment for working will be conducive and things will be working. Not when workers are working today, you come back, yes, you break down, you wait for another 2 days. You wait for another 2 days before the if I telling me, you wait for another 2 days before the AC is repaired. In that situation, the workers are already complaining, their productivity is affected because they're not working on a controlled environment, or the tools for working, the computer is not working well, or some equipment for working is not working well. So there's no elaborate structure set up to take care of things as they happen. So these are ways that you find that, but if it's well planned, it will be repaired in time. We said that a stitch in time saves 9, and it will minimize work disruption and enhance productivity, as the case may be. Then energy efficiency. If you go and buy, if you buy equipment that are subject that have high cost in use, it means you will spend so much money to operate them or to maintain them, which means you'll be incurring more cost. But in the market, we have air conditioners, refrigerators, and so many other equipments that are energy efficient. And when you buy them, you spend, if you are using 100 units of AC, and each of them is reducing power cost by 10%, you know what it means? Energy is a very big business in Nigeria. And like even the bulbs you are using, some bulbs are not energy efficient. Some of them, if you are using filament bulb, as many people use in the past, apart from generating heat, it consumes more energy. And when you put it on, only 10% of the energy generated is used to lit the bulb. The other one produces heat. And when you produce heat, you require more cooling system to cool the environment, and that case may be. So these are things we are looking about. So when you are looking at politically how we can use this thing to control, to enhance strategic corporate strategy, you see that it's a very good thing that people should understand. And I gave you some handouts, creating value through strategic management. I want to read those handouts very, very well and use it to find out how can you use strategic management to create value for corporate organization. I hope you're hearing me. How can we use strategic asset management to create value for corporate organizations? I want you to read that. If you read that, those papers, it will help you to expand your thoughts, your line of thought, and your reasoning in this line. And you can find out how we can do it using case studies and good examples. Last time I told you how the Calyx Trade did with their subsidiaries who are using their building. In that case, they were asked to start paying for every space they are using. They started reducing the space they are using, and those spaces were now converted to given to tenants who lease them, and they are paying little more money than they were paying before, which is good for the organization, and they're making good money. And how they revalued their properties which are leased out and get a better rent, and how they now converted one of their properties who was being leased to they have a development joint venture with another company who developed it. We're paying them rent per annum, and after they have enough money that they will tax their members less. they will tax the members less. Then if it's a bank if they're reducing costs in all this way they operate their business in their vehicles, in equipment, in energy, in procurement, cleaning, as the case may be, if they are reducing a lot of costs in those areas, you find out that they can now reduce their COT or their cost for the customers. If other people are taking 1%, they can charge 0.5% at COT or 0.7% at COT. So for those who are for big time customers, they find out 0.3% is a big money, or 0.5% of my, if I have a turnover of 50 billion annually, if we multiply 0.5 times 50 billion, it's big money for me. So they can move out from those banks to your own bank. But you have made money elsewhere and use that money to reduce the charges to your customers, to attract more customers to yourself and bring more business to yourself and more profit. You have seen how this can have been used to enhance corporate profitability in a way. I hope you have understand what I'm saying. Then, one of the questions they ask, how do we use benchmarking to enhance corporate property performance? Benchmarking. Benchmarking is a situation where you try to relate what you are doing to other people in the industry. If you are spending X naira, what you compare with what other corporate bodies like you, other investors like you are spending for the same kind of investment per unit of square meter or unit of space. I mentioned to you how Ranzerox is a US company involved in copiers. They found out that the sales price of the Japanese companies producing copier machines is lower than their production costs. So, which means if they must remain in business, they must find out how they will improve their own production strategy by see where they can reduce costs and enhance profits. Otherwise, they will be out of business. So if you are, let's give an example, you are managing a property and you find that you are managing, you are charging people 50,000 naira per square meter as service charge for your building on the average. Even though service charge is based on services you are rendering, but you find that people around you who are rendering equal services, the same quality of services that you are rendering, if you convert the amount that the tenants are paying them to space occupied, you find that other people are paying 40,000 naira per square meter, whereas in your own case, they are paying 50,000 naira per square meter for common services. In that case, once a tenant in those buildings move out, you're surprised that a tenant for your house will move out to that property to take a space and save costs. So in that case, it helps you to increase to enhance your competitive edge over other companies. So if an industry find out that are spending 100,000 naira per staff in their real estate maintenance or cost they are acquired, another place spending 80,000 naira per staff. So they have to do that to find out what they can do to bring their costs. But if those people are spending less, it means that they can compete better than them. They can reduce their price of their goods and overtake them in the business. So these are things we have to understand how it works in real estate matters. So, and if you are building costs and you are spending more money to build your house than other people are spending to build, then you find out that your profit will be affected. Your payback period will be higher. If you are borrowing money for the bank, you pay high interest rates, and you have less net income. Because when you remove your interest charges, your net income will be very minimal, as the case may be. So these are things you must try to understand in doing this thing. Then we talk about asset register and tracking. How are they critical to successful strategic corporate asset management? We have to look at that, because if you don't have a record of what you are managing, I don't know how you can manage it. Even a herdsman that take care of cows or heads, they know the number of heads they have. Otherwise, that's why they know when one cow or two is missing in their heads, in the number of heads they have. So if you are managing an asset of a is missing, when the is missing, you know. When the cars are missing, you know. And when they carry out a printer or printer, you don't know that a printer has missing this. That's not a problem. So that's register keeps you record of what is everybody. I know where they're located, and you have to monitor their fitness at each point in time to serve the purpose in which they're installed. If you read the hand that I gave you, see, it was very extensive. You can even monitor to know where something is, know where to look at it. If you do any particular item, know where it is. From the register, you can see where it is. When if it's something you list out, you know when the list is used for renewal. You have a record of everything at a glance in your system. Then you have what is tracking. You have tracking them. That's tracking. They have what they call what I call it again. You want just keep my mind now, but you can use it to monitor your asset. Where you can use a system in which barcode. You can use a barcoding system, so that whenever you are, if anything happening to that equipment, you know from that when something is happening to the equipment where they're located. So these are things you use in the asset register. If you read well and think well, some of them you understand is much better. Even in valuation, it helps to when a client is doing valuation for financial reporting. When the assets are properly recorded, they will have a good record of the assets. So if you say a chair is valued as, they have 100 chairs, each chair has its own number. So chair number this, the value is this. But when you put 100 chairs at 10 naira each, value this, you have not conveyed any message to anybody. But all the shares, if not at the same time, cannot be the same value. Some have been bought earlier, some have more damage than the other ones, some have been deteriorated. When they are asking for compensation from insurance company. So that is how why this is very, very essential. There's one I sent today is some property investment portfolios. I talk about strategy, about property as an investment. So this may be. These are things you have to put into consideration. And then you have to know the location, the attributes or qualities that building will have to be able to satisfy the needs or to achieve your objective. Otherwise, you will not get it right. It also the location. But if you are located in a school, an airport, factory, police station, hostel, they require different locational attributes. Where you locate a hotel cannot be where you locate an office building or a school. So the requirements for choosing a site for it is different. So you have to be strategically in trying to be sure that you pick the best location where you will get the highest and best return on this thing. That's why those who are in real estate, who are read that economics, that what they call price and best use. When a site is properly developed, you put the right use on that site. They say a site in search of use. When the site gets the appropriate use, it will have the highest value. So when a property that is put into a land that is put into the right and best use, we command the highest value in the market. So these are things you have to put into consideration in dealing with property investments. So with property market, we must view it as another source of investment among many. But you should realize that if you are working for a development company as your FM manager, you know that you are getting money from the money market. And this money you are getting, you are trying to attract investors to invest on real estate. And people have other areas of investment apart from real estate. So if your real estate is not attractive compared with other areas of investment, people will move their money to other sources of investment. So you make your real estate attractive enough to be a good investor destination. Otherwise, they will move away from real estate to do other things. So that property investors expect a good return on their investment relative to risk. They would like to maximize their return and minimize their risk. And this can only be achieved through a good and wise investment decision. Every investor must have expectations and benchmark that guides his investment decision. And will from time to time evaluate how the investment is performing relative to the expectations and benchmark. A good property investment performance depends on good and right investment decision, the level of professionalism in the management of the investment, market conditions, and economic cycle. Economic cycle, what do I mean by economic cycle? You know that now we are going through a hard times in Nigeria. It's not the best time to invest in real estate, but the people are not able to pay rent or buy. Even the banks are not really to fund real estate as they used to do in the past. So we are at the low level of the cycle, low on the throw of the cycle. Cycle moves like a harmonic motion. It moves up and down in a cyclic form. When there's a boom, it moves up. When there's a lull in the market, it moves like a value, like a throw down. So that's what called economic cycle. When the cycle is down, people will tend to spend less on their. We less attracted to invest in real estate or to buy houses. But that is best time to buy houses if you have money. So that economic cycle affects it. So if your property is a good property, but economy is down, it will definitely affect the performance. But if you build a bad property and the economy is down, it will turn it worse. It will have the performance will be worse than it will be if it were well developed. If it was put with good with care and prudence. So he said in taking property investment decisions, we must recognize that different market segments require specific development type. Yeah, in the Korea, Banana land, what they require is different from what they want in Sula and Yaba. You must have that in mind. They have with specific attributes that appear to consumers in that particular market. The developer must consider all elements of productivity, physical, locational, legal, and environmental, that will enhance demand, utility, and value of the proposed property development. Property developers must also be aware of the property use and demands in any particular time as a response to dynamics of time. Because if you are a good property manager, you know when the use of your property is becoming obsolete. A property that was useful today for office purpose may become ideal for a shopping mall tomorrow if you have enough parking space to accommodate shoppers, or may become better for a hostel or a hotel in the next 10, 15 years. So if you read that the income from property, from office use is no more ideal for that particular location, you can modify the use to other use. Maybe hotel. I have a property my client had was the head office of an insurance company in Enugu. And when they bought the company, they found out that Enugu is not the best place to make the head office of a national insurance company. They moved out to Lagos, where the business is, and now converted the building to a hotel. But if you put for office space, you can realize good money, and they are making more money than they have made as if they are left it for hotel, for office use. So they must know, and they property developers must also be aware that the property use and demands in any particular use relevant to demands of time. We have thought about that. They must know when to develop, modify, refurbish, and upgrade facilities in sync with market dynamics and demand. The highest and best use, sorry, not higher, it's highest and best use. The highest and best use of the site 10 years ago could be office use, but today optimum use could be hotel development. I've already explained that one before. Relevant performance measurements could provide a good guide on how and when changes are required in existing development. Performance evaluation can be carried out either for single property or property as part of portfolio. Portfolio analysis is the selection and revision are undertaken with objective of maximizing returns and risk minimization. An individual investor may carry out a performance evaluation to determine how his investment is performing. He can carry it out by himself or through an expert or portfolio manager. Institutional investors also do the same for the same reason. The way a property is managed can affect its performance. When property managers are not cost conscious in managing common services, it could lead to higher service charge payment compared to that of similar properties. I already elaborated on this in the past. They talk about use of property evaluation, property measurements. Evaluation is when we try to find out how the property portfolio manager or property manager has been performing, whether he has performed above the benchmark or below the benchmark. Property performance measurement. In that one, we are trying to calculate the return on investment vis-a-vis the risk. You know that the return is justify our investment or to remain in business. So if you read the 100% today, you will fully understand what I'm saying there. Then we'll talk about strategic objectives. Duben, not Deben, it's called Duben. Duben and size. If you check okay, you haven't printed it out. But when it's on the fourth page, strategic objectives, the one I sent today. There are what they call strategic objectives. These are things you for criteria that an individual or institution investor should use in property selection. If you are trying to select a property to buy or to acquire, there are 4 things you must consider. One is that are the particular characteristics of that investment satisfactory? So we are sure that you have to look at the attributes of what you want it for. What are that property have the attributes to satisfy the need you want it? Then now that have been justified here, say 4 are the particular characteristics of the investment satisfactory. the investment needs of the investor with regard to security of growth, security growth, and other aspects. Every investor is motivated by certain expectations, like security of income and capital, income growth in consideration of inflation rate, etc. Any error in the strategic consideration in this strategic consideration will negatively affect the performance of the investment. Then another question is the price paid reasonable in all material particular or in all material particular and represent value for money? If you are, I'm sure that procurement is another way of achieving strategic management. So if you have paid excess price or have you have paid above the market price or the appropriate price for it, then it means the property was overpriced and you already start losing money on arrival. So when a property is purchased at an overpriced amount, the return on investment will be watered down with negative consequences on investment performance. There might be need to engage in services of a professional valuation surveyor to advise on appropriate price before the purchase of property. Our private property is a good catalyst for poor investment performance. Then the third one is how suitable is the property with regard to portfolio balance. You know, when we mix property, we call it diversification. Is a natural habit of man. It's not something that was introduced by economists or experts for the first time, but they brought it to a more professional level. But a human being tries to avoid packing his egg in one basket. In case of eventuality or something happens, he will now diversify his interest so that he won't put everything he has one. Some families, when are traveling by air or by car, they will travel with different cars or travel by different air. Maybe one is going by 7 air flight, another one going by 9 air flight, another one is by 12 p.m. flight. So that if something happens to one, there are two will stay to bury the remaining ones. We don't pay for that anyway. But I just said that we try to avoid packing our eggs in one basket. So, and when you are mixing property, you have to mix properties in good mix, so that they're not. But the way you mix properties, you have to know the properties that you mix that to give you more profit. But the idea of diversification is that if one is not doing well, you will get a reward for the one that's doing well. But if you put one property in one area and all of them are not doing well, you have problem. And now they say that when you have diversified property, you don't put the same property with the same who are moving the same direction. They will move the opposite direction. That one will reinforce, we help the other one if it's doing badly. So whether the mix is let's say whether portfolio mix will help the balance of portfolio. When you have how you go portfolio balance, it means that when is balanced in a way that if there's any problem in one aspect of the portfolio, the other aspect will help it to neutralize the effect of it will improve, try to modify the effect of the risk or the variance in the returns on investment due to the good mix. If it's a good portfolio mix, then should there be need to alter the portfolio? Will property readily sellable? Maybe like I'll give you an example. Maybe when you have portfolio mix, you want to remove, maybe you feel that this one is a problem, you want to change it with another kind of property. You want to sell and buy another property in your portfolio. Will it be easy for you to sell? No, some property you buy or you invest in, when you want to sell, it becomes a problem for you. Are you getting my point? So you have to find out. So if it's not easy to sell those properties, then you run into problem at the end of the day. So you have to find out whether the property you are doing is when. Let me give you an example. UPDC, when they are trying to diversify their property, their investment, they have properties in Makode, in Enugu, Onitsha, Calabar. What did they do? They found out that this party, they sold them off. But as far as they're concerned, those parties are liability. They were sold off in all those areas. And even in Lagos, the ones they have in Apapa, the fact that Apapa is not growing in values as the other areas like Korea and DI. So they sold those parties and now use them to invest in Ikoyi and Victoria land, where the returns are higher on investment on your investment. So you have to look at such a things, whether if you find out some of the property in your portfolio is not doing well, you want to dispose of them and get another one, will it be easy for you to sell? But these are the 4 criteria you will use in measuring, in determining a party you will buy for your portfolio. There are 4 criteria, and you must take note of them. You must take note of them. That place, it was typed wrongly here. They typed it as sorry, I'm coming. It was typed as Dixben. The correct one is Duben. Duben and size 1991. Criteria for office for property selection. There are 4 criteria for property selection. And later we found out with the mission parameters for measuring return on investment. That one, we will teach you that one: income value, income cost, income growth, value cost, rental growth, rental value come. I don't want to get into calculation with you, but Ume is already dealing with that, so I don't add to your problem. I will discuss with Ume, but this is the first time we are taking the course together to know how we do our questions. But I've told you, your class rep, I'm giving you an assignment. That assignment will carry a mark, but the university requires that every course must have a test. An assignment can be used as a test. So an assignment is a good help for students. You are writing it at the comfort of your home. Nobody is giving you stress. You can conduct materials, seek for help from your friends to help you with ideas. I don't say help you write it, help you with ideas, go through it for you and make input for you. And at the end of the day, you score your mark. And when things are bad, that's another way we can help students, to help them if they are not done very well in the exam. Nobody will ask. These are the ways. These are why when I give assignments, you should take it seriously. As said, if they don't do it, they will run into a problem, and there's no way you can help them because they have not done the assignment. So these are the things I want to discuss with you today. So I've given you general ideas, the way I'm thinking, and the way your exam will look. Don't expect me to tell you this is the question I will ask, but as I'm teaching, anybody that listens very well will have an idea of what they expect in the exam. I'm sure that almost everything that I will say in the exam has been discussed today, without telling you this is the question. So if you're asking for AOC, you have gotten your AOC today, and I've tried to explain it to you the way you understand it and be able to answer it in the exam. So I have to stop at this point. And if there's any question from any students, I'm ready to answer it. If you have my number, if you don't have my number, you can get from my class governor. You can text me to ask any question or call me. I'll call you back. You can text me if you have any question. Text the question. I will call you back to give you the answer. If when I'm free to do that. So I'm very free with every student. Once the exam is taken, you're on your own. So my friendliness will last up to the exam date. I'm available to answer all questions, to attend to any issues or problems or challenges any students have regarding my subject or my topic. If you have old questions you have gone through and find a question you don't understand, if you ask me, I'll be able to give you an answer. Some of them we did not treat, like I think we treated them in the early part of this course, like strategic planning and other things, strategic planning, all this. But I'll just start to limit myself. And I know we are not in the best of times. We are in a pandemic and nobody is working optimally. So I will narrow my exams mostly to what we did after the pandemic. Most of the things we did before the pandemic, I can just study them peripherally, but not something I will go deep into. But even me that thought it, I can't remember all the things I taught them. I know that I taught the early part of the course in before the lockdown. I think we had about 4 lectures before the pandemic. So any question? Any question from anybody? Well, I have to end this lecture, so you can properly articulate your question letter and send me a text on it, and I will address it.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
You said something about benchmarking. Please, sorry for bringing you back, sir. Can you please just shed more light on the benchmarking, sir, as regard
benchmark real estate?
Yes, in real estate, sir.
I'm sure you have done a lot of things on benchmark in this course. Benchmark is something you use as a parameter to judging your performance. Not like you are. Let's give example. You are selling rice. You sell your rice 12,000 a bag. I found out that your colleagues are selling 11,500 a bag. Then you want to ask yourself, why are my colleagues selling 11,500 a bag and I'm selling 12,000 a bag? Where are they buying from? On invitation, you find out that now they are buying from a place, they're buying their rice from the right source at the price of 8,000 naira a bag, and we are buying at 9,000 naira a bag. So even if they sell at 11,000 naira, they're still making profits. So if you find that now, you have to find out a way of the way you procure your rice. You have to find where others are buying from at a cheaper rate, so that you can now compete with them equally. And then I come to property. If we have a shop in a mall, and you have a shop of 1,000 square meters, and you are making a profit of 10,000 per square meter annually, and your colleagues are making a profit of 12,000 per square meter, you find that people who occupy the same space with you in the same business are making more money than you. You cannot check whether it's your sales approach, is it the way you buy your goods. It gives you time to think well and find out why you are not performing as well as those people, where they are spending less amount from you than you are spending. Are you getting my point? So, and then, like if for a businessman, the expectation may be that you have higher maintenance costs in the property, but rent is not only the cost of rent, but cost of maintenance, electricity charges, and all the things you use, all the money you spend in your distance. So you have to start checking whether you are using too much current, too much gadgets, whether your other things you use in the office are too expensive. So you have to look at how do you what are the things you are using that is not this thing. Even it can be an office space, like where does not have a good most of office spaces, service charge, they use area per square meter to support. Someone will come and check. It's a local seaway. Come and check AC points. I guess what they do, but that's not the. So what I'm talking about that you look at what and I give an example with service charge. service charge. If you find that maybe I'm managing a building and I've installed energy efficient lighting systems, I have a way of engaging less labor for do the cleaning work. Most of some way I have planned it. So I'm making the way that it's easier for 3 people to do the work instead of 4 people. I'm saving costs. And then the materials I buy, like chemicals and things I buy, I have a way where I buy it cheaper than my other colleagues. So at the end of the day, I now charge my tenants lower service charge compared with other people in the industry. So in that case, they were attracted to my own building than other people's building. Or if other buildings are charging less and you're charging more, but they have low operational costs of their services, you have to look back and say, why is my own services higher than others? But you make your property a bad property, people will not like to take it. So you have to look inwards and find out how to cut costs so that you now compete with others. Even in banks, they check if banks start saving their costs. Say, for example, other banks are spending 100,000 per square meter of space to occupy other branches, and we are spending 1,000 naira. You cannot think, why are they doing? You find that some of the banks, instead of using generator all through, they go and tip people at PACN money to give them more light, so that they will spend less money on generator. It happens. If you go inside this, they do it in the commercial area of Lagos. So these banks go and tip people in the power distribution area to give them more light, so that they will spend less on generator. Are you following what I'm saying? So in that case, you find out that you are spending more money than your colleague. So you benchmark is something you use as a check on your own performance. What other people are doing in the same industry, that people are doing this. Not like you do exam, you find out that you are studying with your classmates that are scoring A's and you are scoring B's. You find out, say, why am I, these people are reading with, and not that I'm not intelligent, what is happening? You find out that maybe when you go to read, instead of reading in the classroom, you are admiring the wall of the classroom, or you are looking at the beautiful girls in the classroom. Half of the time, that when the time is, when you are going back, you go back. So you spend 8 hours in the classroom, but you spend only about 2 hours effectively reading. The other 6 hours, your mind is diverted to other things that are not important. So if you are in that situation, you are not. So you are not a better student. You are using your mates to compare. Why are they doing better than you? Find out that you are not putting your time well, or that you don't copy your notes in the class. You don't even know, have a good record of what is taught in the class. So sometimes in the exam, you don't know what to read. So you are comparing using your classmates to see how they are performing against you. Where are you not doing as well as they are doing? Even though you are an intelligent student, you are doing well in order, when you are studying school, before you go to the university, in your first degree, suddenly in your MSc, you start doing badly. What is happening? So you are not to check your colleagues are doing. It's not because it's so tough. Why other ones doing well and you're not doing well? So in real estate, you find out other people are spending less than you are spending in your own building you're managing. Or people who are doing business are paying less. They're spending more money in the space, but space involves energy and other things. What they spend to run their own business is higher in terms of real estate related costs. Energy, water, and all this is lower than your own. You have to ask questions. Where maybe it's building your own building, but you're spending a lot of money to run the building. Maybe you are a corporate body, but you're spending a lot of money to run the building. So if you find that you have to reduce cost of running the building, maybe you are buying chemicals from a high source, or you through intermediaries who others ask cost to ask money to your money, and your costs are overbloated. Is that clear to you somehow? Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir. We get it, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear, sir. Now? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I have to stop at this point. The exam will be sometime around 15 or so. I'm not too sure, but not 8 as it was on the pattern table. That 8 is not realistic, so we have tried to give you extra days to prepare properly. So when we convert the exact date, the PG coordinator for you and tell you exact date for the exam. So I'll see you later. The assignment will be submitted 3 days, latest 3 days after the exam, latest 3 days after the exam. After 3 days, you don't submit your own. I'll not take it from you again. It means you have lost the opportunity to submit an assignment.
Okay.
So thank you all for your attention.
Okay.
See you again.
Thank you, sir.
Exam day. Yeah, bye.
Definitely. Bye bye, sir.
So take care, all of you. Yeah, bye.